the Compassionate Geek Podcast with Don Crawley. Now, here's Don.
Do you tell your customers about improvements you've made that are a benefit to them? Your customers want to believe that you're the best at whatever it is that you do. We can reinforce that belief by letting them know about improvements that we make to the systems that they use. I recently attended a weekend-long conference at High Point University in High Point, North Carolina. The president of High Point is Nido Qubein, who took over as president in 2005. Participants in the conference were privileged to be able to spend time with Dr. Qubein as he proudly showed us the many improvements and enhancements to the campus, the many new buildings, the waterfalls and fountains, and procedural changes that he'd made to improve academic performance, campus security, and the student experience. Dr. Qubein was very proud of what he and the faculty and staff had accomplished during his time as president. Even more than his pride in the accomplishments, he was focused on the customer experience at High Point University. He would point out a new building or an improvement to an existing building, and then he would talk about how it positively affected the students and their parents. Now, even though I'm not a customer, or even probably a potential customer of High Point University, his focus on improving the customer experience made me excited to be at the university and to be a participant in the conference which was being held there. Frankly, the more I experienced Dr. Qubein's enthusiasm, the more excited I became to get back to Seattle to record this podcast and to tell you about the school. Then, when I arrived at the airport for my flight back to Seattle, I discovered that I'd been upgraded to first class, which of course is a wonderful treat on a long flight. Well, after I settled in my seat, Robin, the flight attendant, came back and asked how I liked the new seating configuration. You see, Alaska Airlines had taken out a row of seats, which gave us much greater legroom than we'd had previously. She was proud of the change and wanted to make sure that I, as a frequent customer, noticed the difference. Well, frankly, I didn't notice the difference. But I did notice that something felt different, and when Robin made me aware of the change, my customer experience changed for the better. As an Alaska Airlines customer, it was a little thing that made me feel better about my choice of airline. Now, perhaps you've heard me talk about being a pipe organist, and as a church organist, people in the congregation will often brag about my musical ability. Here's a little secret. Frankly, there are a lot of other musicians who are far more proficient than I. But that's not the point. People love to be associated with what they perceive to be greatness. They like to brag to their friends and colleagues about how good their doctor is, how their massage therapist is amazing, the quality of food and service at their favorite restaurant, their amazing carpenter friend, their artist friend who creates stunning sculptures, or any other positive aspect of their life. So here's the question. Do you find ways to let your customers know about the improvements which will enhance their experience? As an IT professional, do you tell your customers about the new server you installed, which improves response times, or the upgraded router that improves network speed? Of course, most of them anyway, are not going to understand what you're talking about with a server or a router, but they'll know that you're talking about something important.
For more information about scheduling Don as a speaker for your next conference or meeting, visit www.doncrawley.com/info.
Our jobs are about helping our end users work more productively, efficiently, and creatively.
Now, once again, here's Don.
We often talk about the importance of being a friendly professional, about the importance of keeping conversations positive and upbeat, and avoiding negativity. It's also important to be intentional about informing your customers when improvements are made to your network, to your servers, to their desktop and mobile systems, or any other aspect of the information systems and technology at your office. The changes and enhancements don't have to be big, they just need to be positive. Give your customers reasons to be your advocate behind your back, to brag about how good their IT department is to their friends and colleagues. I'm Don Crawley. What do you think?